Hi, everybody. Welcome to another class here on verbling.com. My name is Lisa, and this is going to be a reading class in this hour. So if you have a reservation, you can go ahead and use it now. And if you don't have a reservation, then as soon as you see the Join Class button up above, then you'll be able to join the class at any time. So, hi guys, how are you doing? Veronica, how are you?
Hi Lisa, I'm fine and you?
Good. How's the weather in Montreal?
Very good. For me
Yeah?
now it's very good because I am yeah, I am used to this weather.
Uh-huh.
Used to? Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting used to it. Yeah, you're
Yeah, I'm
used to it
getting
now.
used to. So, yeah, I feel fine.
Good, good. All right,
Yeah.
awesome. Is there snow on the ground?
No, today, yeah, I think that it snowed a little bit because I
Oh.
passed almost all day inside of my home, so
Uh-huh.
I only saw for the windows.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, no, the weather, maybe the sensation thermical is good to say, or the
The
sensation because the temperature was like 10 degrees Celsius,
yeah,
low zero, but
yeah.
the sensation was like 15 degrees
Oh,
low
okay.
zero.
Uh-huh. So
Yeah,
it was yeah, that's right. You can say sensation. We just say it feels like. So
feels like
yeah.
okay.
So it feels even colder, like if there's wind or something, or
Yeah,
yeah, it makes it feel colder than it actually is. Yeah, temperature-wise.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, cool. All right.
Hmm.
Okay, and welcome, Walla. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Okay, welcome, Walla. Where are you calling from?
Right now I'm living in USA, but originally I'm from Saudi Arabia,
Oh, okay. What part of the United States are you living in?
Colorado,
Colorado. Wow. Cool. What part of Colorado?
Denver.
Denver? Okay,
Yes,
nice. Yeah, it's been snowing there, hasn't it?
I think yes. I didn't check yet, but I think yes.
Yeah, okay, great. All right, and Martin, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
And Kishan, hi Kishan.
Hello, teacher. How are
Hi,
you?
good. And Jose, and welcome Gregory. Hi guys. Okay, so I just saw that this time slot wasn't picked up, so I picked this up just last night, and then I found this article that we could read. Somebody was posting it on Facebook, so I thought it would be an interesting article to read with you guys because it has some very informal language. I think we'll be able to get through it tonight. I'm not sure. We'll see how fast we can read. I'm trying to put it up in the screen share right now, and my screen share is going kind of slow. But did you guys, looks like most of you have been able to open it. Okay, good. Let me see if my screen share is going to work. It might not work. So we might have to just read it. Oh, here we go. Okay. Is anybody else having any trouble with Google Hangouts being slow? Or is it my computer, I wonder?
No,
No, not having problems?
No.
Okay.
no.
All right. So here it's coming up. Like I said, this article is written in a very informal style. It's written in a kind of style that is trying to get you to have an emotional response to the article. It's kind of like trying to motivate you and get you to think about something. And it has a what we call provocative title because he's saying 7 reasons why you will never do anything amazing with your life. So that's kind of a title that makes you think, hey, how do you know what I'm going to do, you know? So we call that a provocative title. So, you know, writers usually like to try to have some type of title that grabs the reader and makes them want to read it, even if it's a negative kind of thing like this. So that's the title. Hi, Yuki.
Hello.
Welcome. Hi.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Okay, so let's get started because it is kind of long, and the way we'll do this is I will read. Maybe I'll try to do a little bit longer readings this time with everybody, and then you'll have a chance to read out loud. You'll read what I just read. So when I'm reading, you can listen, read along, listen to how I'm pronouncing the words, and then I will also go over some vocabulary to make things easier to understand. If you have any questions at any time, just unmute your microphone and ask me a question. If you're not sure what something means, just ask. And hi there, Andy. Welcome. We're just about to get started. The link to the article is in the Verbling chat, so everybody should be able to see it there and go to it. All right, title, 7 Reasons Why You Will Never Do Anything Amazing with Your Life, and the subtitle is, yeah, that's right, you heard me, I'm talking to you. I'm calling you out. So I'm calling you out. To call somebody out means to like provoke them, to try to get them to like respond. I'm calling you out. I'm naming you. I'm telling you you're not doing something you should be doing. So he's calling you out. I'm looking you in the eyes. Okay, well, not really, since you are probably reading this article, but figuratively, I am burning a Cyclops-type hole in your face right now and telling you that you don't stand a chance. I'm telling you that if you can read this article, look through this list, and not claim it as your own, then you should be a little worried. Actually, you should be very worried. You should drop everything and immediately question your existence on Earth. You should find a mirror, look yourself in the eyes, raise your hand, and slap yourself in the face. Got it? Now repeat that until you come to your senses and continue reading whenever you're ready. All right, so that's kind of a bossy kind of way to write, but he's trying to provoke a response. So Andy, why don't you start for us, and you can read that whole thing that I just read. You have to unmute your microphone first.
Great. Okay.
There you go. Okay. Wonderful. Welcome.
7 reasons why you will never do anything amazing with your life. Yeah, that's right. You heard me. I'm talking to you. I'm calling you out.
Oops, it's a little bit low.
Okay, I'm looking
That's
you
good, yeah.
I'm looking at you in the eyes. Oh, well, not really, since you are probably reading this article, but figuratively, I'm burning a Cyclops-type hole in your face right now and telling you that you don't stand a chance. I'm telling you that if you can read
I can't hear your voice, Andy.
and not claim it
There you go.
as your own, then you should be a little worried. Actually, you should be very worried. You should drop everything and immediately
Can you guys hear?
look yourself in the eyes
And there you go.
and slap yourself. Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah. It's just like going out and then coming back in. So go
And
ahead.
slap yourself in the face.
There you
Got
go.
it? Now repeat. Okay, now repeat until you come to your senses and continue reading whenever you are ready.
All right, good. Thanks. Okay, so he's kind of trying to get you pumped up as a reader. He's provoking you. So he's telling you, I'm looking you in the eyes, and he's like trying to get in your face. Then he says, well, I'm not really. Figuratively, that's when you write something. It's not literally happening. It's more like figuratively. With his writing, he's trying to get in your face and like trying to get you pumped up a little bit. He's burning a Cyclops-type hole. So a Cyclops is like a one-eyed monster. So he's trying to burn a hole right in your face because he's telling you you don't stand a chance. That means you don't have a chance to be successful is what he's talking about. You are not going to be successful.
I'm sorry.
Yes, Yuki?
I don't understand a sentence. I'm burning a cyclops type for in your face right now. At all.
Okay.
What does it mean?
Well, he says, I'm looking you in the eye. So he's trying to kind of, he's looking you straight in your face, and with his eyes, with his look, he's burning. So you understand that, right? He's burning a hole. So the Cyclops, do you know what a Cyclops is?
Yes.
It's a one-eyed monster. So he's trying to burn a hole into your face. That's what he's trying to tell you, is that's how strongly he's looking at you, like very intense with his staring at you to try to get you to like listen to him. Does that make sense? This is what he's telling us. That's like, imagine this person staring at you, and he's staring at you with so much intensity that his eyes, his look is burning a hole in your face because it's so intense. So that's what he's really just talking about. It's just the intensity of his look at you, because he's trying to get you to look at him and to pay attention. He wants you to pay attention to what he is going to say. Does that make sense?
Intensity of his look at you. What is his what
His
indicates
look.
his
look?
Yes, his.
When he's looking at you with his eyes, he's looking at you.
What is he? Who is he?
Oh, the person who's writing the story, the article. Yeah.
Author. Okay.
Yeah, the author, exactly.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he says, I'm looking at you. So he's the author. So he's kind of just, he's talking directly to you, the reader, and he's telling you, listen, this basically is just like, listen, I'm telling you this. You don't have a chance. This whole part is just to tell you that he's looking straight at you with a lot of intensity, and he's telling you, you don't stand a chance. So he's telling you you're not going to be successful. This is like provocative language. He's calling you out.
Okay, thank you.
Where's my cursor now? All right. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So hold on, my computer's slow again. Actually, all right. So he's telling that. Yeah, so we're going to read some things, and he's wrote a list here, so a list of things that if you're not doing, you're not going to be successful, is what he's saying. He's saying you should be worried. Okay, so we haven't got to that part yet, so he's just setting us up. And you should drop everything immediately. Drop everything means stop what you're doing and question your existence on Earth. Like, why are you here? Your existence on Earth is like, what are you even doing here on Earth? And then you should go look in a mirror and raise your hand and start slapping yourself in the face until you kind of like wake up. And so that's what it means to come to your senses. To come to your senses means you like wake up and you start seeing what's reality. Okay? And then he says, then you can start reading. So he says, I'm talking about street skills, son. I'm not talking about the study hard, party light, graduate top of your class skills. I'm not even talking about the slack off, skip class, smoke weed, drink and party but still graduate skill set your $50,000 plus diploma has led you to believe you have. I'm talking about step out your door, make some moves and get some shit done kind of skills. Some move out of your mama's house, quit your job, say F the world, and then actually go do it kind of skills. Okay, so this is now he's starting to talk about what he's trying to tell us. Okay, Gregory.
Yes. 1 moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking. Both street skills, son. I'm not talking about the study hard, party light, graduate top of your class skills. I'm not even talking about slack off, skip class, smoke weed, drink and party, but still graduate. Skill set you 50,000 plus diploma had led you to believe you have. I'm talking about steps out your door, make some movies, and get some sure done kind of skills. Some move out your mama's house, quit, quit your job, say F and S the world, and then actually go do it kind of skills.
Good. So this is, like I said, a very informal way of talking. And so when you put these, like an apostrophe there, that's a short way of talking. So the proper word is talking, but when he says it, it sounds like I'm talking about, and so about. So I'm talking about street skills, son, and son is like a way of referring to you, the reader. Okay. So he's not talking about the stuff that you learn at school. So, you study hard, you party light, means you party a little bit, and then you graduate at the top of your class. He's not talking about those kind of skills. He's not even talking about the slack off. That means when you don't do what you're supposed to do, like you don't study very hard, you slack off, you're kind of lazy, you don't finish your work, or you skip class, or you smoke weed, which is another word for marijuana, drink and party, and still graduate even though you did all of those things. And he's saying he's not talking about that. Even though you went to school, you did all these things, college, and you paid a lot of money, you got a diploma, that's the certificate that says you graduated, you think you have skills. He's not talking about any of that. He's talking about basically getting out and doing stuff. He says get some shit done stuff. So like going out and living your life, leaving your mom's house, going and quitting your job and saying F the world, so that's the cuss word, but we're not going to say that in class, and then actually go do it kind of skills. So the kind of skills you develop in the real world, outside the bubble of your parents' protection or the ideological indoctrination that has overwhelmed our entire educational system. Skills that can be had by anyone willing to pay the price to get them. Skills that are quickly becoming extinct. I'm talking about skills that cannot be taught in a classroom or in a textbook. Skills you can only learn by doing, by learning how to fly after jumping off the cliff. Skills that can only be developed.
I have a
Yes.
question.
Yeah.
Skill set, you are 50,000. What would skill set means?
What you can do. Your skills are the things that you can do.
Skill set, you are $50,000.
Abilities.
$50,000 is how much it cost you to go to college.
Skill set. How much?
$50,000. That's how much it could cost you to go to college. And so he's saying that just because you have an expensive diploma, he's not talking about those kinds of skills, those academic skills. Or even these other things you did, partying, drinking. He's not talking about those kinds of skills. Skills are things that you know how to do.
Skill set, you are 50,000 means $50,000. You have $50,000 with your skill?
No.
No?
No. I'm not even talking about, okay, so he's listing a lot of things. He's not talking about slacking off. He's not talking about skipping class, smoking weed, drinking and partying, but still graduating. Skill set. So that all goes with that. Those things are your skills. He's saying. He's not talking about that. Then he says your $50,000 plus diploma. That goes together. Part there. So you think you got skills because you spent a lot of money on a diploma, on a degree. That's what it means. The skill set is this stuff. That stuff that he's talking about.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So skills that can only be developed when you find your true self, when you put yourself on the line or otherwise expose yourself to the possibility of failure. The skills you can only develop when you are willing to risk it all in order to do that one amazing thing. Skills that up until now you thought you had. Okay. All of that You can read. Hussein, you joined us. Hi there.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Are you ready to read?
Yes, of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
here you can read all of this part that I just read, starting from
Okay.
right here.
Okay. The kind of skills you develop in the real world, outside the bubble of your parents' protection, or the ideological indoctrination that has overwhelmed our entire educational system. Should I
Yep.
continue?
Yeah,
Okay.
continue.
Skills that can be had by anyone willing to pay the price to get them. Skills that are quickly becoming extinct. I'm talking about skills that cannot be taught in a classroom or in a textbook. Skills you can only learn by doing, by learning how to fly after jumping off a cliff. Skills that can only be developed when you find your true self, when you put yourself on the line or otherwise expose yourself to the possibility of failure. The skills you can only develop when you are willing to risk it all in order to do that one amazing thing. Skills that up until now you thought you had.
Good. Okay, so he's talking about a different kind of skills, a different skill set. So these are the kind that you develop, that you get by being out in the real world, the world where you're outside of the bubble of your parents. So the bubble of your parents' protection. So they protect you and keep you safe, and they don't let you have too many problems, usually mistakes. And then also, he's talking about the ideological indoctrination. So that means what they teach you at school. Indoctrination is like how they teach you, what they teach you to think about at school. In the educational system is school. So, once you get out of that realm, that environment, and you get out into the real world by yourself, then that's what you're going to start learning. Those are the skills he's talking about that are important. They can be had by anyone, so anybody can get these skills, but you have to be willing to pay the price. To pay the price means you have to do whatever it takes to get them, and he's going to talk about that more in a minute. And he's saying that these are skills that are becoming extinct, so a lot of people don't have them anymore. Like animals become extinct, they die off. These skills are becoming extinct because you can't be taught these skills in a classroom or in a textbook. You have to learn by doing. So he gives a little example. You have to learn how to fly, but after you jump off the cliff. So you have to go in not knowing yet how you're going to do everything. They are developed when you find your true self. Your true self is like the person who you really are, what things that you really value and that you find that you are good at. And you do this by putting yourself on the line, which means you do things that are difficult and you are not afraid to make mistakes. And it's like exposing yourself. So you put yourself on the line, like, you go out and you try to get that job, or you try to do your best, you create a new something or other and try to sell it. You're exposing yourself to the possibility of failure, of actually not succeeding. And then only when you're willing to risk it all in order to do that one amazing thing. Risk it all means, just go for it. You might make mistakes, you might not succeed, but you're going to try anyways. So that's his thing, and now he's going to give us the list. Basically, what I am trying to tell you is that in this game called life, you don't stand a chance, and then he's going to tell us why. Because you have not failed enough. Because you are comfortable in your mediocrity, because you choose not to try, because it is easier to talk about learning that new programming language as opposed to actually learning it. Because you think everything is too hard or too complicated, so you will just sit this one out. Or maybe you'll do it tomorrow. Because you hate your job but won't get a new one, because it is easy to reject rejection. Because while you're sitting around failing to try, I am out there trying to fail, challenging myself, learning new things, and failing as fast as possible. Okay, why don't you read all of that for us, Jose?
Excuse me, teacher.
Yeah,
Can I ask you something?
sure.
What is the meaning of overwhelmed and cliff?
Overwhelmed
And cliff.
and cliff. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So where did you see overwhelmed?
Yeah, over there in no, up.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Overwhelmed means like it's too much for you. Well, in this case, it means the ideological indoctrination that has overwhelmed our entire educational system. To overwhelm means it's taken over. It's the most thing that you hear about all the time. So
Okay.
if you feel overwhelmed, then you feel like there's too much going on in your life, like you're too busy and you're like, oh, it's too much. But when something is overwhelmed, like the school system, it means that's all you hear about, you know, like whatever the government wants you to learn or whatever they say is important, that's what's happening. That's the indoctrination. Yeah. And then the cliff, okay, so a cliff is when you're like at a mountain and the part where it drops off. So if you fall off a cliff, you're going to go down, 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 down to like maybe a river or something down below. So if you jump off a cliff, you're going to fall down and you have to learn how to fly. But he's saying you have to learn how to fly after you jump off the cliff. So it's like going out there and trying something new. You don't know how it's going to be, but you will learn how to do it. So a cliff, the easiest way to see cliff is just a picture. So there's lots of cliffs in the world. The mountain, that's a cliff, right there. So
Okay.
jump off the
Very
cliff.
clear.
Yeah. Jump off the cliff and you have to either fly or you fall to the ground and die.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to try a lot.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Good.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and my Verbling chat is not working, so I might just put some stuff in the group chat because I was writing some stuff, but I can't see it. So we can use the group chat. Yeah, overwhelm. Benjamin answered also in there is like to dominate or to prevail. So that's good. Yes, exactly. Okay, so Jose, do you want to read for us? Starting from basically?
Basically, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that in this game called life, you don't stand a chance because, number one, because you have not failed enough, because you're comfortable in your mediocrity, because you choose not to try, because it's easier to talk about learning that new programming language as opposed to learning it because you think everything is too hard or too complicated, so you will just sit this one out, or maybe you'll do it tomorrow. Okay, because you had your job, but you won't get a new one because it's easy to reject rejection. Because while you're sitting around failing to try, I'm out there trying to fail, challenging myself, learning new things, and failing as fast as possible. Because
Yeah.
fail. Okay, right
Yeah,
there.
keep read. You can read that one. Read that last paragraph. Go ahead.
Okay, because as I fail, I learn, and then adjust my course to make sure my path is always forward. Like the process of a nailing steel, I think through the fire and pound it into shape. The shape of a sword with polished edges and a razor edges and a razor sharp blade that will cut you in half if you are not equally hardened.
Hardened. Good. Okay, so this is what he's doing. Remember, he's trying to be provocative. He's calling you out. So he's telling you, number one, why you are not going to be successful or do anything amazing. And the first thing is because you're not failing enough. So he says because you're too comfortable in your mediocrity. So mediocrity means just like so-so. It's like okay, but it's nothing great. So you are okay. You're comfortable just doing things okay, you know, nothing great, nothing amazing. You're just not even trying to do anything better. You're just okay being mediocre is the
Ordinary.
Yeah. Ordinary, yeah, that's right. Just, you know, the normal, We call it the run-of-the-mill, everyday kind of thing. Nothing amazing. All right.
It's loser.
And yeah. And because it's easier to talk about doing stuff than actually doing it, that's what he says. And he gives an example of like learning a new programming language, for example, as opposed to, that means like instead of really learning it. So you talk about it, but you don't do it. That's another reason. You think everything is too hard or complicated. Complicated means like tricky and there's just too much to learn. It's difficult. And so you're going to sit this one out. You're not going to even try. Or maybe you say, oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow. You don't want to do it now. Another one is because you hate your job, but you don't want to get a new one, because it's easier to reject rejection. So to reject something means to say no to it, and it's easier for you to say no to rejection, to being told no. So you're afraid, basically. You're afraid of people will say no to you. They will reject you. So you're sitting around failing to
Sorry,
try.
I don't understand. Rejection.
Do you know what rejection
in
is?
another word, what does it mean? Rejection.
Okay. Do you know what rejection means? If
Yes,
you come,
I know the meaning of the word, but
okay. So you don't want to experience that. That's what he's saying. You are saying no to the possibility of being told no, of being rejected by somebody else. So you don't want to quit your job and try to go find a new one because you are rejecting the idea of possibly being rejected. So you're too afraid to go and look for a new job because you don't want to be rejected by that person, like a new employer or something. Does that make sense?
I don't understand. Sorry. It is easy to, what in another word?
It is easy. Okay, so to say no, it means to say no. So you're not willing to go out there. To reject means to say no. So do you understand that?
Yes, I see.
Yeah. So it's easy to reject rejection. So it's easy for you to say, hey, I'm not going to deal with that. And you're just going to not even go try. And so you're saying no to the possibility is really what he's saying of rejection.
To accept, yeah? It's easy to accept all. Yeah?
It's easier to stay on your job, a job that you hate, than it is to go out and try to look for something better, even if you might be told no, like you don't get the job. That's rejection. Rejection is when you don't get the job. They rejected you. So it's easier for you to stay in a job that you hate than it is to go out and try to find a new job, is what he's saying. Do you understand?
It is easy to reject rejection means it is easy to accept all. No?
It's easier for you to accept your job that you hate, yes. It's easier for you to just stay where you are rather than to take a chance to try to find something new, even if you might be rejected, might be told no, you know?
Okay.
That's confusing. Yeah, it's a little bit confusing because he's using the same verb with this.
It's quite tough.
It's very informal.
Word is easy, but
the words are easy, but
to understand what he's saying.
He basically, all you have to know is he's saying it's easier for you to stay on a job you hate rather than going and taking a chance.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's saying that while he's sitting around, while you're sitting around, so you're sitting around doing, not trying to do anything better, he is out there, so he's out in the real world, and he's trying to fail. So he wants to fail because what that means is that he's challenging himself, he's learning new things, and he's failing as fast as possible because as soon as he fails, then he knows. This is what he says, because if I fail, or as I fail, when I fail, I learn. He's learning new things. He makes changes. Adjustments are changes. And then he can, adjust what he's doing because he always wants to be moving forward. And then he says it's like the process of making a sword. So annealing is just the technical term for when you do this thing, when you put the steel in the fire and you pound it into the shape of a sword, And so he's just saying that I'm going to basically be able to cut you in half because he's getting the skills that you don't have. So, and he's using the sword as kind of a metaphor. So while he's getting polished and becoming razor sharp, you're not doing anything, so he's going to be able to cut you in half, you know, if you're not equally hardened. So if you're not as good as he is, you're not going to win, kind of thing. So that's the first thing. Number two is, because yeah, Veronica?
Excuse me, teacher. Annealing, this word wasn't clear for me.
Okay, it's the process of making the steel into a sword. So he tells you right here, the fire and pounding into the shape. Do you know how you make I'm going to see if I can find a picture.
I know, okay, I can imagine.
Like
okay.
that, you know, like what they're doing when you're making a steel blade. You have to put it under fire.
Okay.
You have to pound it.
So it's a
verb.
Yeah, but it's a figure. So it's not real. It's
exactly. Yeah, he's like
you have to imagine the meaning for. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what he says. It's like the process of annealing steel. So the process of him going out into his life and making all these mistakes, it's like he's getting through the fire, you know, it's like the hard stuff, and then he's being pounded, you know, like by the failures. And so you think of yourself being like pounded every time you make a mistake or every time you lose money. And but the product that you get in the end is a polished sword that is razor sharp. So, you know, it doesn't look so good when you're doing it like this. You're pounding it, putting it in the fire, but the final product looks really nice, you know. And so that's the metaphor for his life. He's going to be learning all of these important skills, even though it's not an easy process. Okay, number two. Okay, because you care what others think about you, because you have to fit in, because you believe that being different is only cool if you're different in the same way that other people are different. Because you are afraid to embrace your true self for fear of how the world will see you. You think that because you judge others, this means that those people must, in turn, be judging you. Because you care more about the stuff you have as opposed to the things you've done. Because while you're out spending your money on new outfits, new cars, overpriced meals, or nights at the bar, I'll be investing in myself, and while you try to fit in with the world, I'll make the world fit in with me. Okay. Kishan.
Yes, teacher. Sorry, teacher. I have some connection problem. Teacher, can I say something?
Yes.
Teacher, you are reading about the paragraph. I think it means you have no dare to do something new. That's why other is provoking you do something new.
Yes. Right.
Yes.
Yes. Are you going to read, Kishan, or not?
Teacher, yes. I'm
ready. Okay. All right. Yeah, you can start with number two here.
Okay. Because you care what other thinks about you, because you have to fit in, because you believe that being different is only cool if you are different in the same way that other people are different, because you are afraid to embarrass your true self,
to embrace
embrace your true self for fear of how the world will see you. You think that because you judge others, this means that those people must in turn be judging you, because you care more about the stuff you have as opposed to the things you have done. Because while you are out spending your money on new outfits, new cars, overpriced meal or nights at the bar, I'll be investing in myself. And while you try to fit in with the world, I'll make the world fit in with me.
Good. Okay. So to fit in, because you have to fit in. To fit in means you want to be like everybody else in your social group. You don't want to be different.
Too sweet.
Yes?
Too sweet, maybe. So, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Too sweet.
Yeah, you want to be like other people. You don't want to stand out. Except, he says, another thing is you believe that being different is only cool, so it's only a good thing if you're different but in the same way as everybody else. So like if everybody, you can be different by wearing certain types of clothes, but they're the same clothes that your friends wear too. So you're not really that different. You're just different than other people. So you're being different but in the same way that other people are trying to be different, like by the clothes they wear, the color of their hair, something like that. Because you're afraid to embrace your true self. So to embrace means to fully accept yourself for who you are, because you're afraid of how the world will see you, how they will judge you. Because you might be judging other people like, oh, they're dumb, they're stupid, why are they doing that? And so you think other people are doing that to you as well. They're making judgments about you, and you care about that. You care more about stuff you have, so like the stuff he was talking about, cars, houses, clothing, more than you care about the things that you do, like your accomplishments, the things that you know how to do or have done. And so he's saying that when you're out there spending money, you're buying new outfits, new clothing, new cars, overpriced meals, so you're paying too much for your dinner or something, or nights out at the bar, what he's going to be doing is he's investing in himself, spending money on learning things. And he says, and while you try to fit in with the world, I'll make the world fit in with me. So he's not going to try to be like everybody else. He's going to try to make the world accept him and be more like his. Because I will recklessly abandon all insecurities and expose my true self to the world, I will become immune to the impact of your opinion and stand naked in a crowd of ideas, comfortable in knowing that while you married the mundane, I explored the exceptional. All right, so that finishes off that part. 3, because you think you are smarter than you are. Because you did what everyone else did, you studied what they studied and read what they read, because you learned what you had to learn in order to pass their tests, and you think that makes you smart. Because you think learning is only something people do in schools. Because while you were away at college, I was studying life. Because instead of learning about the world in a classroom, I went out and learned it by living. Because I know more than any piece of paper you could ever frame from a university. Because smart is not what you learn, it's how you live. Because I might not have a degree, but I challenge you to find a topic that I can't talk to you about cohesively. Because I could pass your tests if I had to, but you couldn't stand for a single second in the face of the tests that life has thrown me. Tests that are not graded on a bell curve or by percentages. Tests that are graded by one simple stipulation: survival. Okay. Can read, Martin? Your microphone's muted, Martin. There you go.
Are you calling me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Um, because you think you are smarter than you are?
Yeah, let me just go over this real fast. Recklessly abandoned. So he's going to he's just saying he's going to do everything possible and not worry about what other people think. He's going to be immune to the impact of your opinion. So he's not going to care what people think about him. He can stand naked in a crowd of ideas. So he doesn't have to pretend he's somebody else. And while you're living the mundane life, he's going to explore and try to do what is exceptional or great. Okay, so yeah, Martin, why don't you do number 3 then?
Teacher?
Yes.
Naked?
Naked. Yeah, he just wants to expose himself. He's not going to try to...
naked, what is the meaning?
Yeah, he wants to expose himself. To expose yourself means like he's not going to try to hide. He's going to stand naked. He's just going to be there for everybody to see.
Yeah, okay, but the meaning is okay, is physical and mental
No,
too?
metaphorical.
For example, no?
Well, naked means you don't have any
Okay.
clothes on. Yeah. You know,
Yeah,
literally it means he would not have any clothes on, but he's not talking about that. He's talking about like naked in the sense of not pretending to be somebody he's not. He's not trying to dress himself up to make people think a certain way about him. Instead, he's going to be his true self and just express himself.
Okay. Thank
Does
you.
that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay, Martin.
Okay. Point 3, because you think you are smarter than you are, because you did what everyone else did. You studied what they studied and read what they read, because you learned what you had to learn in order to pass their test, and you think that makes you smart. Because you think learning is only something people do in schools, because while you were away to college, I was study life, because instead of learning about the world in classroom, I went out and learned it by living. Because I know more than any piece of paper you could ever frame from a university, because smart is no way you learn. It's of your life. Because I might not have a degree, but I change you to find a topic that I can talk to you about cohesively.
Cohesively.
Cohesively. Because I could pass your test if I had to, but you couldn't stand for a single second in the face of the test that life has thrown me. Tests that are not graded on a bell curve or by percentage. Um, Tests that are graded by one simple stipulation, survival.
Survival. Yeah, good. So he's basically saying, you know, you think you're smart because you went to school, basically, and you studied what they told you. You did, you know, you read all the things you were supposed to read in school. So you think you're smart. You think you're smart because you passed their test, he's saying. So that means the school's test. So that makes you think that you're smart. And you think you're smart because you think that learning is only something that people do in schools. And he's saying, but what he's saying is, while you were away at college, so you were studying books and things at college, he was studying life. So he was out there living, and his classroom was the world, and, you know, all the things that went on for him. And
Sorry.
he was, yes?
Sorry, because while you are away at school, but
College.
Sorry, you are away at college.
Yeah, while you were at college. So while you were going to college.
Away means going.
Yeah, while you were there.
Not
away,
leaving.
No. While you were, you could just say, because while you were at college. Away is meaning like away from home. Like you went from your home to college, and so you were away at
not
college.
Away from college, yeah?
No, away from home at college, going to college.
It makes sense. Okay.
Okay. So you were at college.
And also, I went out and learned it by living. What by living means?
By living means living. He learned what he learned in the act of living, just being out there, working, meeting people.
Okay.
Yeah. Instead of by studying. So they're two, you know, he's contrasting, comparing
Active
and contrasting.
Behavior,
yeah?
Okay.
Living your life, not being in a classroom. You know, not thinking that you only learn things from books or
in
from
real
classes.
World.
Yeah, in the real world, exactly.
Okay.
Thank
you.
Yep. So he says, I know more. So he's saying, I know more than any piece of paper. So the piece of paper that he's talking about is like your degree or your diploma. So just because some people go to college and they get a piece of paper and they put it in a picture frame, it doesn't mean they're smarter than he is. That's what he's saying, because the stuff that he's learned goes beyond what, you could put on a piece of paper, because it's how you live. So he learned how to live, and he means in the real world of making money, surviving, paying your bills, having a job, not just in school, the school type of learning. He says he doesn't have a degree, so he doesn't have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. But he says, I challenge you. So he says, I challenge you to find a topic or a subject matter that he wouldn't be able to talk about cohesively. It means intelligently, So he's basically saying, I can talk about anything that you want me to talk about. And he says, I could pass your tests if I had to, if I needed to, but you couldn't stand for a single second in the face of it. So he's saying, you went to college, you learned these things, but that's not really what life is about. The tests, the things that he's learned, are much more real, and they are not graded on a bell curve. So bell curves talks about, how many people fail and how many people get A's and stuff like that. And so the only way that you're graded is if you survive. So there's a simple stipulation. The stipulation is the only criteria, the only thing that's being measured. It's not about reading books, not about writing papers. It's about survival, so being able to live. Okay, number 4, because yes?
Could you explain again the meaning of cohesive?
Yes, sorry. Cohesively means...
Cohesively.
Cohesively. So he wants, if you can
in this
talk...
sentence, meaning in this sentence.
If he can talk about something cohesively, means like if you say, okay, let's talk about the economy or the crisis in Europe, he'll be able to talk about it intelligently. He'll know he knows what's happening, he knows who the players are, he can talk about it in a very good way. Cohesively means together. The opposite of cohesively would be like chaotic or like random, something that's not cohesive. It's kind of like, you say one thing and then you say a completely different thing. Cohesive means together. And so in this case, it means he will be able to talk intelligently about it.
In a reasonable way.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, like he knows what he's talking about. Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
One question. What about bell curve?
Okay. So a bell curve, I'm going to show you on a picture. It's a way of grading papers. So when you grade, small amount of people do really well, and then the majority of people do in the middle. This is what it looks like, the curve. It's called a bell curve. Yeah.
Bell curve. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, number 4, because you don't read. Because you read the things you are required to read or nothing at all. Because you think history is boring and philosophy is stupid. Because you would rather sit and watch E! Or MTV instead of exploring something new. Instead of diving headfirst into the brain of another man in an attempt to better understand the world around you. Because you refuse to acknowledge that all the power in the world comes from the words of those that lived before us. That anything you desire can be had by searching through the multitude of words that are available to us now more abundantly than ever before. Because you are probably not reading this article even though you know you should. Because the people that are reading this already know these things. Because you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Okay, Veronica?
Yes.
Number 4.
Number 4. Because you don't read. Because you read the things you are required to read or nothing at all. Because you think history is boring and philosophy is stupid. Because you would rather sit and watch E! Or MTV instead of exploring something new, instead of diving headfirst into the brain of another man in an attempt to better understand the world around you. because you refuse to acknowledge that all the power in the world comes from the words of those that lived before us, that anything you desire can be had by searching through the multitude of words that are available to us now, more abundantly than ever before. Because you are probably not reading this article, even though you know you should. Because the people that are reading this already know these things. Because you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
So we don't have time to do everything because I want the last two people to read. But basically, he is of the opinion that some people spend more time just watching TV, that part here, instead of reading. So with reading, you can really learn a lot of different things from people who have lived before us. And you can just learn a lot by reading a variety of different types of books. He says because you can lead a horse to water, so you can bring your horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. So people can, know that there's good things out there to read, but you can't make anybody read a book. All right, number 5, because you lack curiosity. Okay, Walla, why don't you read that so we can finish in time?
Okay, just give me a second to find it in this.
Yeah. Okay. Just read the whole number 5.
Okay. Because you like curiosity, because you get your news from copycat members of the state-controlled media, because you are unwilling to ask this simple question: what if it's all a lie? And accept the possibility that maybe it is. That just maybe the methods of mass media are under direct orders to keep you distracted. Because you call me a know-it-all, but refuse to call yourself a know-nothing at all. Because I thirst for knowledge, regardless. While you are busy playing Candy Crush or Megalopolis, I'm reading about string theory and quantum mechanics. Because while you waste your time with Tosh,
Tosh.0, I don't know what that is.
Build websites and design mobile apps. Because if we were to go hands up in a debate, I would crush you. I would make it a point to defeat my own argument from every imaginable angle. In order to understand everything you might be able to use against me, because I would dedicate myself to understanding both sides of the argument so truly that I could argue your side for you and win, even after having just handed you a defeat in the same debate.
Good. Okay, Yuki, why don't you finish up with number 6?
Number 6. Because you don't ask enough questions. Because you do not question authority. Because you don't question yourself. Because you don't understand the power of property placed questioning in life. Respectful disagreements and standing up for what you know to be right in the face of someone telling you otherwise, unable to question reality, stuck in a self-imposed survival strategy within a matrix-style monotony.
Yeah, monotony.
Monotony. Because I know that you will give me all the information I need to destroy you by letting you talk. Because I study human behaviors and you ignore everyone but yourself. because I watch how you say the things you say just as closely as I listen to what you say, and you say what you say way too much. Because control comes not from spewing spewing your ignorance like something incurable case of logo,
Logoria.
logoria, but from properly structuring the context of your questions. Because I studied the
The premise.
premise. Because I studied the premise of your argument and destroy from the ground level before you even get a chance to establish your ideas.
Okay. And number 7 is because you can't handle the truth. And I'm going to let you guys read that if you want to. But basically, we went over time, so sorry, but we don't have time to go over more of the vocabulary. As you can see, the informal style of writing can be more difficult than the formal style of writing, but it does provide you a lot of really good vocabulary. So this is definitely the way some people talk. He's trying to get you guys motivated to argue with him and to get out there and do something. That's why he's using this provocative, kind of almost mean kind of way of talking to you, the reader. Okay.
Shortly, it is written that do it now for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to help you get yourself motivated to go out there and become, amazing, do something amazing. And he's telling you how to do it, but he's doing it like in the reverse way, telling you why you're not going to do something. So of course, he's doing it like he's not just saying you should read, you should do this, you should do that. He's telling you you're not. And because he's going to be able to do something better than you are. So that's a way of trying to motivate somebody to do stuff. So I don't know if it's successful or not. You guys would be the judges of if it's successful, that style.
I want to say thank you because it's really interesting article.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, great. Thanks
really.
for coming, you guys. And the link to the page itself is down here if you want to go to where I got the article from. It's a website that has a lot of stuff about life learning, things you can learn to help you develop your skills and things. So, interesting. Okay, guys, sorry it went over a little bit. Thanks for coming and thanks for reading. Hope you enjoyed it and learned some new words and phrases. There's a lot of stuff in this one article. So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, and Martin, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
And Kishan, hi Kishan.
Hello, teacher.
Hi. Good. And Jose, and welcome Gregory. Hi, guys. Okay, so I just saw that this time slot wasn't picked up, so I picked this up just last night, and then I found this article that we could read. Somebody was posting it on Facebook, so I thought it would be an interesting article to read with you guys because it has some very informal language. I think we'll be able to get through it tonight. I'm not sure. We'll see how fast we can read. I'm trying to put it up in the screen share right now, and my screen share is going kind of slow. But did you guys, looks like most of you have been able to open it. Okay, good. Let me see if my screen share is going to work. It might not work. So we might have to just read it. Oh, here we go. Okay. Is anybody else having any trouble with Google Hangouts being slow? Or is it my computer, I wonder?
No.
No? Not having problems? Okay.
No.
All right. So here it's announcing the words. And then I will also go over some vocabulary to make things easier to understand. If you have any questions at any time, just unmute your microphone and ask me a question. If you're not sure what something means, just ask. And hi there, Andy. Welcome. We're just about to get started. The link to the article is in the Verbling chat, so everybody should be able to see it there and go to it. All right, title, 7 Reasons Why You Will Never Do Anything Amazing with Your Life. And the subtitle is, yeah, that's right, you heard me. I'm talking to you. I'm calling you out. So I'm calling you out. To call somebody out means to like provoke them, to try to get them to like respond. I'm calling you out. I'm naming you. I'm telling you you're not doing something you should be doing. So he's calling you out. I'm looking you in the eyes. Okay, well, not really, since you are probably reading this article, but figuratively, I am burning a Cyclops-type hole in your face right now and telling you that you don't stand a chance. I'm telling you. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another class here on verbling.com. My name is Lisa, and this is going to be a reading class in this hour. So if you have a reservation, you can go ahead and use it now. And if you don't have a reservation, then as soon as you see the Join Class button up above, then you will be able to join the class at any time. So, hi guys, how are you doing? Veronica, how are you?
Hi Lisa, I'm fine, and you?
Good. How's the weather in Montreal?
Very good. For me now, it's very good because I am used to this weather. Used to? Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting used to it. Yeah, you're used to it now.
Used to. So yeah, I feel fine.
Good. Good. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is there snow on the ground?
No, today, yeah, I think that it snowed a little bit because I passed almost all day inside of my home, so I only saw for the windows.
Right.
But yeah, no, the weather, maybe the sensation thermical is good to say, or the sensation. Because the temperature was like 10 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Low zero, but the sensation was like 15 degrees low zero.
So it was, yeah, that's right. You can say sensation. We just say it feels like. So.
Feels like.
Yeah. So it feels even colder, like if there's wind or something, or it makes it feel colder than it actually is. Yeah, temperature-wise. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Okay, and welcome, Walla. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Okay, welcome, Walla. Where are you calling from?
Right now I'm living in USA, but originally I'm from Saudi Arabia.
Oh, okay. What part of the United States are you living in?
Colorado.
Colorado, wow. Cool. What part of Colorado?
Denver.
Okay,
yes.
Nice. Yeah, it's been snowing there, hasn't it?
I think yes. I didn't check yet, but I think yes.
Yeah, okay, great. Coming up, like I said, this article is written in a very informal style. It's written in a kind of style that is trying to get you to have an emotional response to the article. It's kind of like trying to motivate you and get you to think about something. And it has what we call provocative title, because he's saying 7 reasons why you will never do anything amazing with your life. So that's kind of a title that makes you think, hey, how do you know what I'm going to do, you know? So we call that a provocative title. So, you know, writers usually like to try to have some type of title that grabs the reader and makes them want to read it, even if it's a negative kind of thing like this. So that's the title. Hi, Yuki.
Hello.
Welcome. Hi.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Okay, so let's get started because it is kind of long, and the way we'll do this is I will read Maybe I'll try to do a little bit longer readings this time with everybody, and then you'll have a chance to read out loud. You'll read what I just read. So when I'm reading, you can listen, read along, listen to how I'm